we do feel very much uncomfortable that the university has elected to single out 4 poor black students, or rather 3 poor black students, in applying for its interdict against the university. Now, in order for you to be represented at the High Court, you need an advocate to represent you. As to how the university expects poor black students to afford an advocate to represent them in court, it is baffling. We would again remain hopeful that the good faith that we've come with will be reciprocated by management. 3 students do not have money to hire an advocate at an interval of 5 hours. These papers were served to the students this morning, and they are expected to appear at 2. As to how that is a sign of good gesture on the side of management, I am not sure. Be that as it may, we remain confident that this initiative that we've worked so hard at will not be led to flounder by management. Now I'm going to allow management to give us its sense of where it is, and we'll then take the process forward. Professor Habib.
So thank you very much. Perhaps I should start. I will respond to each of these demands and where we are at and what we see as the issues, but perhaps I should start at the court interdict, because we have applied for a court interdict. The reason we've applied for a court interdict is because the police have made fairly clear that they would require a court interdict for them to be on standby and to be called quickly onto the campus. The reason we felt that that was necessary is we are opening, and it was important that large numbers of people felt unsafe, and that we have a capacity to respond and create a safe and secure environment. The night before, by the way, a car was burnt. There were individuals that were hurt on all sides. And so we do need a capacity. We've got secure campus control here. But if campus control is not in a position, then we need the ability to bring in the police. And that's why this court interdict was called. Nobody was going to be arrested. What it says is that there are certain sets of actions that you can't do. Should you violate that, then the police can come in and take action. And those actions are normal actions. You can't be violent, you can't burn infrastructure, you can't do any of that. So I just wanted to clarify that so that we know where we are. On the issue of insourcing, we've had a conversation, and I've said yesterday and I say again, that in principle, we recognize that this is a massive challenge. We recognize that we need to address it. But we are not in a position to address it until we've done the analysis of what it's going to cost and figured out how to address that. We want, and have suggested, to put a task team with representatives from the workers and other stakeholders. And that task team will be given a definite timetable. We would propose a month that allows them to investigate the actual costs, who's going to be, what the implications are, and what would be an appropriate mechanism to address that. For me to agree to insourcing without having completed that study would be irresponsible. And so that's the thing, that's the position we're taking, and we're hoping to work with all stakeholders to putting this task team together where the substance of this thing is thought through. The second, all children of workers admitted to the university will study for free. We've said that we will find the financial resources and bursaries and scholarships to be able to ensure that any child of somebody who's working for an outsourced company to be paid for at Wits University, so there would be no cost, and so we're happy with that. MJL workers should be reinstated with immediate effect. Not in a position to give that. It would create a legal precedent that would throw this university into a major crisis. What we're happy to do is that this thing could become the subject of the task team's deliberations at some point. The fourth thing is no charges for victimization by university for involvement in the protests against students, staff and workers. On, I think it was Tuesday, we released a statement that said anybody who's been involved in protest and has been involved in any of the activities of the last 2 weeks will not be subjected to any charges. As of Wednesday morning, yesterday, anybody who's been involved in peaceful protest will not be charged because it's legitimate to be involved in peaceful protest. If somebody, however, was violent or violated a law or did something that was illegal, then I can't waive that away. So if somebody burnt a car yesterday, I'm just giving you an example, nobody did, but let's say that somebody did, then actually there is no way that I can say that that person is not going to be charged. It would be irresponsible. It would be a violation of the law. And so that's something that, but anybody who's been involved in peaceful protests yesterday and today, we made it clear there should be no charges. And we've already declared on Tuesday that that would be the case. We've said that there would be no increase in registration fee. And we committed to that, and we remain committed to that. There are some individuals who have a problem because they can't afford the upfront fee at all, or the registration fee. In those cases, we will enter into, we have an arrangement for a payment plan, and we will be happy to arrange that payment plan. The supplementary exam of the 1500, to be honest, we'd have to understand the costs of this, and I'm happy to investigate that and look at that. A new calendar for exams to be negotiated. We already think that that should happen. We've committed to a new academic program. We've got some ideas in this regard, and we'd be happy to talk through that issue. And a university assembly must be formally constituted. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this. I'm quite, in principle, committed to establishing a General Assembly. The thing that is a General Assembly, in the way the university has defined it, and has happened before, is when you actually bring all sides of the university community, the management, the staff, the professional staff, all of the students, into a formal committee that's often chaired by the Chancellor. At least that's what, how the General Assembly has been done. And really what they do is they pass a collective mandate of the university. It's not a kind of debating forum, it's basically passed a resolution. So in 2001 or 2002, I think a General Assembly was called. And the General Assembly effectively passed a resolution on HIV/AIDS and the government's position on HIV/AIDS. And this. It seems to me that such a General Assembly we could call, and it could, for instance, pass, as I've spoken to some people, around the principle of an affordable quality education for all students in need. And that's something that I think I'm working towards a free, affordable, free quality education for all students in need. And that's something that I would think makes a lot of sense, and we'd be happy to work towards that. I want to end by saying these are issues that we have. We're happy to engage. We think it's important to engage with all stakeholders, and we will engage with all stakeholders. The big issue around outsourcing, we are keen on trying to address, and we are keen on establishing a task team with timelines. I'm happy to do with timelines that has full representation so that we can understand the implications and what is the best way to address this. We will continue to engage all stakeholders. I mean, it's important that we engage you. It's important we engage other stakeholders. We have been engagements with other stakeholders, and we will continue to do so. With all stakeholders, we do want to prioritize the academic program. We do want to start. We have been open, but we want to normalize the institution as quickly as possible. And we think that that's important for ensuring that the academic program and the examination program for all people is prioritized and concluded, and that we don't lose the academic year. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. As we did say, reason works against black people. You've just seen how reason works against black people. We've just been given a reasonable explanation of why we needed 4 poor black students to go to court. As to where they're going to find the money to be represented, reason doesn't care. But we'll continue to try. What we're going to do, I'm going to allow strictly 1 student, 1 worker, and 1 academic to say something. Because as we said, we're going to be going into intense negotiations on some of these issues with management and the university council. And it was made clear when this initiative was started that in as much as you have a negotiating team, it has no power or right whatsoever to sign any agreement. Whatever we agree with management, we would have to bring it back here again so that everyone agrees that it captures in essence the spirit of our demands. So I'm going to allow 3 people, 1 student, 1 academic, and 1 worker. And we are going to then close from there and perhaps chart the way forward. Okay, they will come back to it. I've seen a worker's hand here. Student.